So let's discuss the month ahead. This is Slow Living by the Moon. Welcome. My name is Graciela Moore. So, one of the most interesting things for me in the past few weeks is to look back on 4 years of this agenda. There are 12 very carefully hand-picked quotes for all 12 of the months. There are, all in all, over 100 powerful questions to get us those wheels turning, those mirrors placed, those patterns lighting up. And there's over 200 original affirmations going anywhere from the root chakra, matter of fact, very basic affirmation of I am, period, to the more complex affirmations that I put together for this year's agenda. And now I'm already working on next year's agenda and formulating with the astrology of next year, with the moonology of next year, what those affirmations will be. And there's so many, and I just feel so grateful for the journey that we have been following. It's been so powerful to slow down by the moon and to really pay attention and to take part in weaving some of the magic that we see every day. And being an active participant on our day to day through what we are wording and putting together and living and saying out loud. I'm so grateful and excited. Okay, so as I said, every month there's 12 quotes for the agenda. And this year's agenda, if you're new here, you don't know this, but this year's agenda, all of the quotes are by women. Next year's agenda, all of the quotes are going to be from books of authors that I've had the pleasure to interview. So we're talking Poppy Jamie, Rita Fernandez Schmidt, Jen Greteman, although Jen is already featured this year. So the quote to enter into the month of May is, "Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I will try again tomorrow." And we start the month of May with this full moon in Scorpio, dun dun dun, doom and gloom, but not really, because we're not afraid of any doom and gloom. We've already done such hard work, especially those who've been following for the last 5 years, 4 years, almost 5. And so let's see what the full moon in Scorpio questions are. And you let me know what comes up for you. Because for me, my plate is full with the content that I already have planned out, honestly, years in advance, and also with the thought of content that I said I was going to put out last year and this year, and I still haven't. And it's like creating content as life moves is tricky because it's a living thing. It's every day, and it's hard to keep up with all the changes and amazing things that we are doing every day. And so I'm ranting, but let's look at the full moon in Scorpio questions for this full moon, first day of May. Where in my life am I seeking to control? Where what I really should be focusing on is trust. How do I honor both my desire for transformation and my need for safety. And the affirmation for this full moon in Scorpio: what I have held too long, I now release. The weight of what was is turned to wisdom. I am both the keeper and the giver, the earth and the tide in sacred exchange. What is mine stays rooted in love. What must change becomes my power renewed. And so it is. Now, just because the month starts with intensity, it doesn't mean danger. And even though things are coming to the surface, it's really about what's still underneath it all. Underneath it all. And the point of the moon literally highlighting what's underneath it all is not to overwhelm you, but to make you aware. And once we are aware, we can then decide. I say it every time. Once you see what you see, how do you go on living pretending like you haven't seen it? There has to be some sort of change unless you are very focused on the day to day machine that you have built and there's no room for growth. But I doubt it, because if you're in this conversation, then we are expanding, we are growing, and sometimes decisions are based on what we want to do less, which I keep talking about, and what we have to do more of in order to keep building and keep bringing the life that we are building to life. And so the full moon will always illuminate challenges, doubts, fears, and insecurities. And the point of it all is, can you hold on to that vision, and can you hold on and center yourself, not everything else, in a way that allows you to figure out the next steps in a strategic way. And the pressure keeps building, but again, every Monday, taking you step by step through very specific questions that once you click the answer to and commit, allows you to continue a practice of positive psychology, but not just positive psychology, hope in action, and just overall self-care. This is mental health tool, one after the other. So this week I will make sure to do what? By May 11th, I have to make sure to finish the meditation that goes with the month of May. As you know, there's a monthly episode of everything in the book, week to week, what the emotional landscape is, in order to anticipate some of the moods that may come up and some of the things that may come up for those of us who tend to ruminate and overthink, right? And there's also the collection playlist of meditations that I have been offering to go hand in hand with the mood, with the vibes, with the astrology, with the events, etc. And I want to thank you, because those meditations, I feel very vulnerable putting them in a public playlist, because in the past, those meditations were for the Patreon subscribers that I'm so grateful for. They help me monthly to be able to sit here and put all of this together and put everything else together that I come up with to offer to you, to give to you. And so I'm so grateful. So that's what I have to be sure to make on May 11th. That week, I will create at least the script for the audio of that meditation. And that's what I do mid-month. Now, mid-month, the energy of all the planets should lighten up, and I'm excited for all of us. I have family birthdays coming up that I'm excited about. There's the flowers. There's just, beauty and spring and all of that. And so the affirmation that goes into that week to allow us to continue flowing into the mood of it all, I drift into divine stillness. What once demanded fates to whisper. I trust the unseen to weave what I cannot hold. I rest, and I am remade. Now, the new moon in Taurus is only going to ask two things from you. What truly nourishes your sense of stability, and what specifically helps you feel safe enough to thrive? And the one thing that we all have in our minds, considering everything that's happening, is how can I build wealth, emotional, physical, or spiritual, through consistent care? How can I build wealth through consistent care? And the affirmation for that new moon in Taurus, where we will carefully plant seeds of intention to continue building on these projects that we pour our heart into in order to share with the people that we love. My body is sacred ground. My labor, an offering to life itself. Each breath, a seed. Each moment, a bloom. I build slowly, wisely, with love as my mortar. What I create endures. Now, Sunday gratitude will always be a thing. The agenda moving forward will always have a space for open journaling, but it's really for gratitude. And practicing gratitude daily has been a game changer for me. I've been doing this for years. I no longer go to bed angry. My husband and I really work hard to communicate before it is bedtime, because bedtime is a family affair. If you know, you know. And so there is no moodiness. It has to be calm. And we have to shake it off and figure out how to communicate before bedtime. And all of that to say that one of the things that has helped me build that through the years is gratitude before bed. We don't have to communicate it. We don't have to make it a conversation. It's not a thing. Maybe I should. Maybe I should bring it up as a family. But if I'm thinking in retrospect about what I've done today, what I accomplished or not, what I learned, what we did, what I discovered, what my son did for the first time or said for the first time, etc., what any of you may have done to connect, to share, to give me feedback, to light the way and help me. When I focus on those things with gratitude, with nothing but warmth in my heart for those things, it is automatic peace in order to fall asleep. And so, moving forward, every single year, that Sunday gratitude page will not go anywhere. Now, by the 18th, the sun is about to move into Gemini. Happy birthday to all the Gemini friends that watch. My baby sister is Gemini, so I love you. We start the week of the 18th with a waxing crescent in Gemini, and the affirmation is, very apropos. Ideas flutter like wings around me. I listen, I question, I speak with care. Every word I choose becomes a spell, weaving connection, calling truth. And by the 25th, with the moon in Virgo, there's more movement. There's more movement. But the thing about movement is that because we have taken steps before, the same way that I was just suggesting about gratitude, I'm grateful for things in retrospect. And so I'm also focusing on doing things right now and in the future that I'm already grateful for. And because I'm doing things today, my future self will be grateful for the things that I'm doing today. And by the 25th, when that moon is in Virgo, there's more movement because of the things that we have done. I hope that makes sense, but it's there's been a lot of reading, and so if you're called to organize your thoughts or clean up your environment or wrap up something that you have started, it might be the mechanics of that moon in Virgo leading into this week of the 25th. And so the affirmation is about the discipline of it all. With gentle discipline, I shape the path ahead. My devotion lives in the details. What I tend with heart and hands becomes the vessel of my purpose. And just 6 days later, we're going to finish the month of May with the blue moon. You know just what I should have. And if you don't think that the blue moon is rare and worth celebrating, then what the heck? Because it is worth celebrating something that only comes around once or twice a year. Who knows when the next blue moon in Sagittarius will be? So, even without getting into the details of it all, that's just special in itself. So, you know, there's nothing again to be afraid of a second full moon in a single month. There's nothing spooky about it. Sagittarius is definitely goal oriented and very focused and directed. So if that doesn't mirror the themes that we experienced and discussed on the very first of the month, so there's those two bookends, I don't know what does. So what truth has been quietly forming inside of you, ready to be spoken or shared? If you're watching this at the beginning of the month and you know that this question is coming up, or you have the book and you're already looking ahead, then the full moon in Sagittarius sounds like a great mark on the calendar for whatever it is that we're working on. Maybe something gets released that day. I don't know. Maybe some magic comes to light. What are you going to create? You tell me. What are you working on? Where are you being called to stretch beyond your comfort, to trust curiosity over certainty? Now that's serious. Where are you being stretched beyond your comfort, to test curiosity over certainty? Now that sounds like a risk. Are you taking risks this Gemini season? The affirmation for this full moon in Sagittarius coming up, blue moon, I should say. The affirmations for this blue moon in Sagittarius are: words once held in shadow rise like dawn, clear, brave, and unbound. I speak not to convince, but to connect. I listen for the pulse beneath each silence. Every question becomes a path, every breath a bridge between worlds. And that concludes the month of May. As always, I want to say thank you for all of the subscribers. Thank you for sharing, liking, commenting, asking your questions, sending me the M's, and most importantly, thank you for ordering the book. You have no idea how excited I am for next year's agenda, 5-year anniversary edition of all of this work that I have been so privileged to share with you. I cannot wait. I'm just so excited. And so, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, as always, to our lovely sponsors, Brain FM. The way that this music saves me every day while the kiddo is doing his thing. As you know, I homeschool and we are home all the time. And so the way that Brain FM just soothes my brain while I get from task to task. If you haven't tried it, give it a try, especially if your day to day is super loud like mine. Mud water every day as well. The night blend is my favorite. So if you have any questions and you cannot sleep, I'm not going to say it cures insomnia, but it definitely tucks me into a good night every single night. So I'm so grateful for your mud water night blend. Chef's kiss. If you have any questions or you would like to contribute and become a Patreon subscriber with conversations one on one every single month, then the link is also in the description. I love you, and I will see you next time.